we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. What I'm going to post for the Pop Culture Cosmos on Monday is a 1 hour spoilerific review of the Fantastic Four in detail with me and TJ Johnson going over the finer details of the Fantastic Four, the first steps, which unfortunately dropped about 66% in its second weekend of action, unfortunately causing a little bit of alarm once again at Marvel. So that's a continuing story we'll have to go ahead and keep on reporting on right there at the Pop Culture Cosmos. That's right here because it's always here to me, but go ahead and make sure you check it out on your Monday morning drive on, of course, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio podcasts as well. But also, of course, don't forget all our good friends, including Joe Sorrell, of course, Simblades with a Y.com, and hopefully he will be joining us here in a few. Magic Man, hopefully he will be joining us as well. Of course, our good friends at report_court for Stone Hansen. Don't also forget as well, my good friend, Mr. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Hope to get him on when I come back from the vacay next week. Also as well, Alfred Espen on Twitter. Hopefully I will get both of those guys because I like to do, I know it's passe in the podcasting world, but I kind of like to do it, as far as a show that I think really gets a lot of things started as far as what we're looking for as far as next season, as far as the over-unders. I'd like to do a couple of over-under shows, one of the West and one of the East, and hopefully I can get Alfred Esmond and Legend on the East on that one for us. So we'll go ahead and see if we can plan that when I come back next week. Right there for us, the Lakers Fast Break, but also good friends, Empire Jeff TV, covering the Lakers and Dodgers. Dodgers won today. Yay! Also as well, of course, don't forget Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, yo! And of course, the Lakerholics. Laker Tom is still typing away. Now he's typing away and retweeting away about how to get rid of LeBron James, which, again, a lot of people are in that same ballpark now that Luka is a Laker for years to come. So go ahead and hear what Laker Tom has to say. I don't feel as confident as he does, although that the Lakers have built a championship roster. But you know Laker Tom. He is Laker Tom. He sees the world through a shade of purple and gold like no one else. Right there for you at Lakerholics.com. And you'll see Jamie Sweet with his 5 things try to undermine Laker Tom. Always there as well. But go ahead and make sure you like all of our good friends as well. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. But please do the same for us. We are trying hard, even in the long summer months when there's no basketball action, to provide you with some content here and there. So please help us out by liking, subscribing, following, whatever you could do on our social media and YouTube and Twitch and Facebook outlets, wherever you get us, wherever you see us, wherever you go ahead and subscribe to us, please do so. Plus, you're going to be, of course, a follower and a member of the Lakers Fast Break. Memberships are still an amazing low. That price is not subject to anything as far as raising rates, tariffs, or anything of that nature. It's still just $2.99 right here each month, right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Braun doesn't seem to show any Luka support. Tough, yes. It is what it is. It's of course, LeBron James. Is he hurt by what's going on with Luka? He was not there to show support. Neither was Bronny, because there were a lot of Lakers there for the signing yesterday of Luka Doncic and his 3-year extension worth $165 million, I believe. If everything all goes well, it's 3 years, 165. But that last year is a player option, which would be in the year 2028-29. If he declines that option, according to Bobby Marks, as of now, because not everything is set in stone because of the CBA, you have to evaluate based off of the TV revenue and all that other stuff as far as the revenue generated, the audience, as far as the live audience and things of that nature. So when everything plays itself out, but most likely in and around the time that he does. So if he decides to opt out, which if he's healthy, why wouldn't he? He would get in the summer of 2028 a 5-year deal that he could be getting into himself into worth $417. That's right. If he becomes a free agent in the summer of 2028, decides to go ahead and kick off his final year of this extension, he will get, he could be offered up to 5 years and a projected, as of this time, $417 million, because he'll have 10 years of service in the league. And obviously, as I spoke to before, that is the goal of him, for him in that essence, as far as the 10 years of service when the money really kicks in there. So we'll go ahead and see how this plays itself out. But for now, next year, it's another $46 million on the books for this year. $49 million as far as the player option on that. What instead, that option on the 26-27 year gets erased. It now gets increased to $51 million. So it goes 46, 51, 55, and then if he so chooses, 59.2 on the last year. But again, if he's healthy and playing well, I don't see him picking up that end and going ahead and become a free agent to sign for the mega bucks right there for you. So we have Luka Doncic on the Los Angeles Lakers in the years to come. And the comments that he made, because they had a press conference, of course, and Rob Pelinka shows up for that. And of course, he's talking about all the good things that he wants to go ahead and talk about when it comes to Luka and how great it is to have him part of the organization. Absolutely. But Luka Doncic's comments to me were the most important to us as Lakers fans, because he talked about how I quote, "I don't want to wait. I had a taste of the finals. I am getting back there. So let's do whatever we can now." He said he is all in, everyone. He said that's what his goals are. That's what he wants to do. Let's go for it. He said, we're going to go for it when asked about a Lakers championship next season. Rob Pelinka did make a comment on LeBron James, and he said if he had a chance to retire a Laker, that would be great. But was that set as an aside just to try and placate things? We'll have to wait and see. But Luka Doncic's contract, as described by Rob Pelinka, is a monumental moment in Lakers history. So before the Ox comes on here, and before hopefully Magic Man Sean Grice, or if, of course, Mark, a.k.a. Xbox, wants to stop on by, absolutely. Want to hear your thoughts here in the chat. No, I didn't get a haircut. Not yet. Probably going to do that hopefully sometime in the near future. But all right, whatever. JSJ said, asking if I did see SummerSlam. I did see, yes, nights 1 and 2. They were there. Nothing unexpected. If you knew the advanced word that there was no injury to Seth Rollins, you would understand that was the case, because WrestleNomics had reported that even before the injury was going to take place, that they had but they had been told by a source within WWE that there was no knee injuries. So they were right all along. So yeah, it was absolutely of no surprise that he did that, especially to elongate the storyline between him and CM Punk, further spoiling CM Punk's championship run in a matter of minutes. But yes, it is there. And then Cody Rhodes tonight regaining the WWE championship over John Cena. Is it John Cena's final match? We'll have to wait and see. And Brock Lesnar coming out and F5ing John Cena. So yes, it was there. If you're a fan that paid for it, night 2 is better than night 1. But yeah, it wasn't the greatest pay-per-view I've ever seen. That's for sure. But again, the storylines go on in WWE. Okay, the experiment trying to do what he can to sound like Joe Soro. Corbina says before before any more LeBron lines, Google LeBron real quick. You will see all the reports clearing up. He's been in communication all this times. And whatever the lies, whatever the stuff that's going on between Luke and LeBron and the organization, that's between them. Right now, again, unless I hear something more solid, Corbina, unless I hear something more solid from a actual source than a Google AI or Google translator or Discord or Reddit or LeBron Wire or Bleacher Report or all these other places that have been getting everything wrong as of late. I think I'll hear it from other sources if there's any true dissension. All I can tell you is that when LeBron wasn't there to support Luka, yesterday, obviously it's going to become the elephant in the room when him and Bronny weren't there to show up. But again, as of now, he signed a $52.6 million agreement to stay on next season with the Lakers. I expect him to honor that unless he tells the team otherwise. And why wouldn't he have already told the team otherwise? Yes, I understand he's palling around in the south of France at times with Nikola Jokic's agent. Yes, I understand he's at the old Clippers facility, new Clutch facility, looks like the old Clippers facility, and working out there. I get it. He could have made his way because he was within vicinity to go ahead and stop by and show good support. But he did. He didn't, because he knows and he understands that this team is obviously, even before the signing, Luka has now become the priority going forward. And it's not LeBron. And is he hurt about it? He might be. But at this point, we don't really care. Just play the best you can while you're here. If you want to be traded, ask to be traded. Let's be done with it. Move on. No more passive aggressiveness needed. No drama. Or as Mission 24 said, La Drama. Nothing is needed like that. We need to just go ahead and focus in on a championship team. But the thing as far as the championship team is concerned, when it comes right down to it, did the Lakers follow through on the promise of building a team? Or is the Lakers' intent and Luka's intent, Luka working so hard to lose all that weight and get into what he feels is quote unquote, as JJ Redick called him out on it, championship shape. He got into what he feels is championship shape. Are the Lakers seeing that did not somehow get the message? I mean, again, I've said they had a okay offseason, a good offseason. I called it like a in between a B minus, somewhere in there. But to me, they didn't do enough to go ahead and build a championship roster. And there are still places where they need to go ahead and fix, and they chose not to do that. The question is why. If they knew they were going to go ahead and be able to sign Luka on an extension, which, as we heard, the rumors had already emanated out of Europe for weeks now that he was going to go ahead and do this. Why didn't the Lakers do more this summer to build around the championship roster? And you're saying yourself, and this is always the argument again in their comments as far as the $52.6 million that LeBron eats up is preventing the Lakers from becoming a championship roster. You know what? You could say that, but is it? They had many expiring contract that was probably valuable before the summer and a whole bunch of trades kicked in that they could have utilized to trades, yet they chose not to. Because however much you say it, however much I hate to say it, Rich Paul in his statement, as far as when LeBron's agreed to the final year of the contract, was right. The Lakers are on two different timelines. But the problem is, how can we get the Lakers back onto one timeline, especially with the changeover that will take place with Mark Walter, who Luka actually also thanked, among others, including Jeannie and Rob as well. And if that's the case, if that is the case, why aren't the Lakers, or why didn't the Lakers become more invested in trying to build a championship roster? They know their weaknesses. They're not, okay, we know sometimes call Rob this and Rob that, but they're not stupid. enough to say that they don't know that they're what their weaknesses are and how to address them. But they did not address them. They did not address them to the needs of what really will take this team, I think, into a favorite position. Now they still have a pathway. If everything worked out right, if Luka gets that MVP season, if there are a couple injuries to Houston, OKC, and even Denver, yeah, there's a pathway. I think the Lakers could find themselves there, but that pathway is narrower than I really would have liked to have had them be for the Lakers this upcoming season. And that's what concerns me. What's up, Intel? Great to have you here. Blue Magic, always great to have you here. Please hit the like and subscribe. Truly appreciate you joining us. Xbox, Gerald, got to give Rob some props soon. No, Xbox, I can't give him props yet. I can't give him props yet because, again, what team did you build around Luka? Did you build a championship team around Luka? Again, it is a team, I think, that needs a lot to go right in order to get the titles, as far as I'm concerned. Anybody can offer Luka 3 years, 165 in the extension. That's not just Rob. It could have been Jeannie. Could have been Mark Walter. Hell, it could have been me. I could have said, hey, the Lakers want to give you 3 years, 165 with a player option. You want it? Okay, there you go. I could do that, Mark. What the thing is, were the Lakers as urgent to go ahead and build a championship team as fast as Luka wants? And Luka said at press conference how fast he wants to win. He wants to win right now. He wants to win this year. He said that as such. His work ethic in this offseason has proven how much he wants to win. The question is, how much does the organization want to win now? Do they want to win now as much as Luka? And that's hopefully what we're going to go ahead and see as far as is concerned. As far as on the show today, as soon as Joe, who told me to go on at 8 o'clock. It's not because, guys, I ask one of them, either Sean or Joe, what time I want to go on, man? And Sean, the other day, he fell asleep. Joe, he said, go on at 8. Okay, we'll go on at 8. All right, there you go. Frank says, what's up, Frank? Great to have you here as always. I'm tired of seeing Luka's finally in shape pictures. We always go through this every summer back. Luka does have the conditioning. He will never have a six-pack with 0% body fat. I don't know many people who have 0% body fat, Frank. But I hear you on that. But if you remember, and I was arguing with somebody in the comments after a show we did, because it was a Dallas fan talking about how Luka does this every year and then gets out of shape during the year. Well, I think he's more committed, Frank, now that he's a little bit older and understands what's going on a little bit better and a little more clear. I think he will stay in better shape more as the season goes on. But in 21 and 22, he reported both times to training camp 30 pounds overweight in both of those years. So to not have him report to camp like that is at least a benefit to start off with, Frank. And I'll leave it with that. But yes, we are hearing and seeing the Luka's in shape, that type thing. Again, that narrative is out there. I mean, Men's Health devoted a cover to it. So if that's the case, what are we going to do? It just absolutely, it's there. It's right in front of you, whether we like to see it or not. And ESPN is just going to keep on perpetuating Luka's shape for the next 8 weeks at least. So unfortunately, you and I will have to hear that narrative, even though maybe all of us will be tired of it by that time. But again, I thank goodness that Luka has worked hard to get himself into a shape that may help propel him and the Lakers to achieve success this season. Raptors Insider, man, you're flopping all over the place. It's embarrassing that people have to ask a professional athlete if he's on Ozempic. What is this crazy? A guy is in shape, making millions, as an athlete, treating him like Make-A-Wish kid. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you differently, Raptors Insider, that, yeah, he works hard. He's got the money to pay for individuals to help him lose dramatic weight. He doesn't need Ozempic or other stuff that many of us do need at times for our weight issues. And if you are on it or are thinking about taking it, consult a doctor, and I hope it works out for you. But if we have to talk about Luka in that sense, especially seeing how others in the league, LeBron himself spends $1 million a year at least on trying to keep himself in shape. Then it's obviously at 26 he's finally starting to learn the lessons of life. And sometimes what's the old saying about youth is sometimes misspent on the young. You're not, when you're that young, and when I was that young, I didn't always adhere to things that later in life I would say, what, maybe you shouldn't have eaten that. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have kept on at full max on the exercising. Maybe you should have done that. More little bit more of this and that, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I should have kept up my regimen I did, that I was doing in my early 30s. Again, sometimes you just as people have to evolve and learn. And maybe that's what happened with Luka. Maybe he's now learning, and now that he's an adult, in starting in the prime of his career, however long you may say it is, which Joe says 7, 8, 9 years. I may say, 5, 6, 7, whatever that is. At least now he's maybe understanding the things that many adults start to learn in their mid-20s about how to take care of themselves as they grow older. So maybe it's just as simple as that, but we'll have to wait and see if he maintains it. Because if he doesn't and he starts to slip, as Frank will tell you, and he'll be the first to tell you, this is what we've seen all the time in Dallas. We'll have to see if he stays committed to being in this type of health going forward. Thameless says if Vanderbilt comes back to form and Smart maintains a high-level defense, we're a much better team than most people think. Otherwise, we need another good defensive wing. Well, I think we need one anyways, Thameless, but I also think we need shooting because the only reliable 40% shooter, unless Braun is having a Braun 40% year, is Ruiz. So we do need one more consistent shooter. I'm not 100% sold on Laravia, who had one good year of shooting yet. I have to see it in action to see if he's consistent with it, because his first 2 years weren't as productive behind the line. So we'll have to see if he continues his success that he had last year. But yes, with Smart coming in there, hopefully healthy, playing, he gives us 65 games. I think that a lot of us would be very happy about that. Plus, in a year where he has to go ahead and start really producing, because he may not be able to get another decent contract. If he doesn't, we'll have to wait and see, because the money's now on. The money's now on for a lot of guys, and that's the advantage to the Lakers. Is during the season, the Lakers will have, again, several players playing for big money in the off season next season. So we'll see if that incentivizes those guys to play well, and if it reaps the rewards of the Lakers, because that's something that people have to put in as far as context as well. With so many expiring contracts, you also have a lot of players. Maxi Kleber, for instance, he's playing for his NBA life. With Gabe Vincent, he's playing for his NBA life. With Austin Reeves, he's playing for a $100 million plus contract that he believes he can get. I didn't say whether or not I would pay it. I'm just saying that's what he believes he should get after what he's turned down already from the Lakers this summer. Rui Hachimura is looking for a multi-year, decent money, good money deal for him as a premium shooter from the outside. And then also, as well, you have DeAndre Ayton trying to resurrect his career, burning 2 bridges already in the NBA. Now's the time for him to produce as a former number 1 overall draft pick. Can he get you and become a really quality center once again in the league, like he was for a very short time in Phoenix? And then the same thing goes well as far as Marcus Smart. Was his career over the year he got the Defensive Player of the Year award? Because as Boston fans will tell you, that last year didn't work out so great for him at Boston. He was then discarded and sent off to Memphis, and it had to hurt him immensely seeing and watching his team go on and win the championship without him being a part of that run. And instead, he had 2 injury-plagued seasons where he played 54 games. Can he still stay healthy and on the court and provide you decent playmaking? 35% shooting from the outside, because I'm not asking for 40 from him. 35. If we could get 35% three-point shooting from him, I think anybody on the team and anybody on the Lakers fans out there would be ecstatic for him. The way he plays, the way he has a tendency to chuck the ball. And most importantly, can he give us defensive perimeter as far as I don't know, shooting guards and small forwards and playing against wings of that nature. Point guards, I think at this stage of his career is going to be a tough, tall ask, especially fast, speedy point guards. But I think that he could be physical and provide good defense if he is healthy in that right mindset against 2s and 3s and maybe a little bit slower ones, because he can, I think, if he's healthy, can do just that, or he'll be incentivized to do just that, which is his calling card, and hopefully he can do that. ER, what's up, my friend? Greetings to you. Once again, it is a Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Raptors, Gerald, can you dance for us, please? Luka God extends. Woo, woo, woo. There you go. That's the best you're going to get right now. Hey, Juju, Ju Wan Drain. Oh, there you go. Hi, Gerald. How do you feel about the Dodgers and the Lakers for next season? How do you feel about, okay, I can't finish the second part because your name in and of itself is bad, but I will tell you the Lakers next season, again, as I stated, are going to be about as far as what needs to happen in their current format. A lot of things have to happen, and a lot of things have to break right for the Lakers in order to achieve a trip back to the NBA Finals. The Dodgers, I'm going to tell you again, I'm not Joe Soro on it, but as I've tried to tell him all the season, the Dodgers bullpen is not good. They're in the bottom 10 in the league in ERA. I think that starts right there. They didn't really go out and fix it at the trade deadline, which was concerning. I know their offense is now concerned as well because they're not producing runs. They did win today 3-0, but yeah, I think they've got some concerns. But the thing I think they need to fix the most is the bullpen. But that's just me. And no, you're not going to get any answer on that. Juan, I'll call you that. There you go. On Twitch. But thank you for watching on Twitch. Truly appreciate it. Frank says, Luka always had great conditioning. In your opinion, what always slowed down Luka was the injuries. Well, again, Frank, he did report in 2021 and 2022 30 pounds overweight. So and my perception is, and again, you're closer to it than I am, is that there has been issues with his conditioning over the course of the years in Texas. And there has been thought about what his habits are. So if that's the case, that's that from now on, the team is hopefully going to be, this team in the Lakers is going to be hopefully be the beneficiary of a better, well-rounded Luka going forward. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes about there. Thameless says, is the MLB past the trade deadline? Yes, the MLB is past the trade deadline at this point, Thameless. They had it the other day. Raptors, Soro, the Dodgers suck. Well, they did win today, Raptors Insider. And they're still close to the top of the National League, even with the way that they have played this season inconsistently. And I know Dave Roberts has always talked about now. It's funny, Dave Roberts was everybody's cup of tea when he wins the World Series, but back to the old go after Dave Roberts as soon as he starts to have a team that's like, because right now they're so we'll have to wait and see how it goes from there. But yep, absolutely, indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Hopefully, I will be joined by the guy who told me to start it this time. It is, of course, Joe Soro. Where was the face of the Lakers and the NBA when Luka was the signing that contract? Where was the face? I'm assuming you said, I'm assuming you mean LeBron James. Well, again, that's the elephant in the room. When LeBron and Bronny were not there, several of his teammates were there. I know Austin Reeves wasn't there either, but maybe he just was on vacation or something else. But most of the other Lakers were there at the signing. I did see Marcus Smart, Kleber. I believe Vincent was there. Hayes. Yeah, several of the Lakers were there. Dalton Connect. Nobody's making any big deal about Dalton Connect being there. You can make that for what you want, guys, as far as Dalton Connect not being there. Thameless says we're probably still slight favorites to win the World Series as far as the Dodgers. I would say so. I mean, when it comes to see me in September, see Joe and Empire Jeff, who are the real Dodgers, and see those in September. And then we'll hit the panic meter on the Dodgers then in September, because that's when you get to start seeing who the Dodgers and who all these other contending teams in the Major League Baseball really are. Again, that's what they say about baseball. In a 162 game season, wake us up in September, and that's when the real season starts. Frank said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that extra weight was an attempt to add muscle, but obviously wasn't ideal for Luka. According to McMenamin, it wasn't. He said it was an issue with conditioning. So again, I have to go by what the reports were for what was reported by ESPN at the time and what has been followed up on since by McMahon. I know McMahon is hated by everybody in Dallas, but he has been pretty good with his coverage there, whether you like him or not. But hey, guys are here. Oh, Magic Man can't hear you, by the way. Your mic's not plugged in. You had something good to say. All right. Okay. There you go. Guys, can I ask, though, for the audio listeners, Joe and Magic Man, can you keep it clean for another 28? You need to use it for the conference later on. That's all my request is. If we can keep it clean for 2 hours, that would be even better, because then I can use that as well.
For who?
Huh?
What did you do for 2 hours?
My other show. I need you guys to keep it clean for an hour, maybe 2 hours. That would be immensely greatly appreciated.
Sounds good. Yeah. Tim McMahon is
for
hated.
my Cosmos shows because I'm going on vacation.
Gerald,
and Josh and I and TJ and I couldn't get together for recording. But go ahead, Sean.
Tim McMahon is hated because he does his job and he does it very well. That's the reason.
Frank will tell you also. Any Dallas Mavericks fan hates Tim McMahon. I've never spoken to a Dallas Mavericks fan that likes Tim McMahon. All I can tell you, Frank, is what I told the other guy the other day.
If you're so good at your job that you piss Mark Cuban off to the point where he redacts your credentials, you're doing your job. You're doing your job. McMahon and Mark Stein had their credentials pulled by Mark Cuban. Cuban loves to talk, Gerald. Cuban loves to talk a big game about politics. I've noticed that. But if you notice, he's willing to do what the guy he doesn't like does all the time, which is cancel people.
I'll just say this, Magic, when it comes to Tim McMahon, what I said the other day, and I was going back and forth with someone on this. It was after a show, so we're typing this up over the course of a few hours. I said this. Whether or not he hates him, I don't know. He doesn't seem to when he talks about him. But if he hated him so much, why did he write a best-selling book about him that came out earlier this year and make a ton of money off it? So if you're going to go to overseas to Europe in order to interview people about him and make a book about him, even if you hate the guy, you must not hate him enough to not, understand who he is. And again, that relationship, I'm not here to defend McMahon because, again, McMahon goes out of his way to piss a lot of people off, and he enjoys doing it. It's clear that he enjoys doing it. But again, I just don't think, I don't think it's 100% he hates the Mavericks. As far as
it's like 80% he hates the Mavericks.
Yeah, 80%. We'll leave it at that. Yes, 20% he likes to collect the money off of Luka Doncic. Yes, and but I'll just say that. But of course, I've got him here today. Both. I'll go one at a time. He is the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic and also our WhatsApp chat to go ahead and stop on by. I was wondering when you guys would stop conversating and come on the show. It is, of course, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. Luka has signed a 3-year, $165 million extension. Player option the final year when he becomes 10 years eligible, and he's able to sign, as of now, what Bobby Marks estimates or guesstimates, a 5-year, $417 million extension at that time. Great money if you can get it. I will credit Luka. He said he's donating $5 million to play, kids all around the world who want to chase their basketball dreams. Again, another classy move from what I'm seeing, and Frank probably would agree with me on this, being a Dallas fan that he is, a class act in Luka Doncic. He's handled this the right way. And in his press conference the other day, he said all the right things. He wants to win now. He was asked about their championship chances. He said, I want to win now. Paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. He is all in now. But the problem is, as we've gone back forth with Joe and all this on the summer, he's all in. Are the Lakers?
No.
You did that total Joe deadpan Joe Sorrow there.
Not under this ownership group. Under the new one, I think they would be jailed, but not under this current regime. Look, we've discussed it, Gerald. He had a decent offseason, and we can differentiate on what grade or what grading you want to give Pelinka, but he was supposed to knock it out of the park this summer. He had every opportunity to do it. He didn't deliver. Outside of Luka and LeBron, the roster was improved maybe like this. Maybe. Like, you've got a starting caliber center. You added a little bit to all I could describe it as, Gerald, is a Scottish pay toilet bench. And you haven't been able to build around Luka yet. And it's frustrating. So I would answer no. The Lakers are not ready to win now the way Luka wants to.
And again, it is 51. Excuse me, he's getting 46 on the final year of his current contract. They skewed the next year. That's when the extension kicks in. Is 51, 55, and 59. Those, I believe, for what it is a max for him, Joe, and come bring in Joe Sorrow, aka Ox 1947, the guy who is behind the Joe Sorrow experiment and the Joe Sorrow channel. And also as well, of course, on Playback and, of course, Corrupt as well on Steam. Joe, I believe it is the max for what he could be offered. Again, he could have been, had he stayed with Dallas, he could have been offered and signed to substantially more. But the key is him getting to 10 years and obviously being able, as a free agent, to be eligible to sign a 5 years, $417 million extension. See that. But if that's the case, Joe, with that, the other elephant in the room outside of the fact that, Magic Man and I agree that we don't think the Lakers fully were all bought in as seemingly Luka is, or at least as soon as they want him to be. But the thing is also LeBron making his presence known by not being there as a presence for Luka's contract signing when most of us other teammates were. I understand this is now a situation where we just want to get it done and get it over with as fast as possible. But really, when it comes down to it, that's the question a lot of people still keep asking. Even in the celebration of Luka Doncic extending for more years with the Los Angeles Lakers, Joe.
Who wasn't there?
Who do you think?
And why is this a discussion? You guys keep doing this tabloid crap.
It's our audience is saying that as well. So our audience buys into all this tabloid and
You guys got to stop watching TikTok, man. You guys are all programmed like drums. It's irrelevant whether he's there or not. Doesn't mean anything. He's LeBron James. He's the face of the NBA. He's the #1 guy. Doesn't have to go anywhere. So I don't know why he has to.
Well, that's exactly what was stated though earlier in our chat, is that he's the face of the NBA. Why wasn't he there?
Maybe he's on vacation. It's the summer.
He was at the Clippers facility the other day. Oh, sorry, the Clutch facility the other day. Slip of the tongue.
Let's see, LeBron wasn't there to support Luka because he's staying in Lakers. No chance to win. Is that ass hat Dodger insider acting like he's Raptors insider too?
Yes.
Can you guys check his IP? See if it's true.
We'll get right on it.
People make a big deal out of it because they're bored. I don't really care about whether LeBron is there or not. It's irrelevant to the important part, which is he took the deal that was the smart deal, because in 2 years when he opts out, he's going to get paid more money than he would have had he signed the deal with Dallas this last year. Now, the only difference is California tax would bring it down, but it's safe to say that Luka is going to make more money in a Laker uniform and ancillary areas than he would have in Dallas, especially if he wins a title. So that's something to, he's betting on himself, and he should. It's the smart business move. Luka is going to get paid $80 million a year when he opts out of this contract and extends it to a 5-year, $413 million contract. He's going to get $80 million. That means he's going to be a hair shy of making $1 million. It might get to 82. I don't know. I have to see what the contract looks in detail. But this is a guy that might be the first guy that gets paid $1 million a game. And they're not playing 82 games throughout the year. So, do the math.
When he signs that 5-year deal, guys, what I said, $417 million at this point in time. It could be higher, it could be a little bit lower, but that's the guesstimate, Joe. When he opts out in 28.
And Jeff mentioned something too. By the way, what's up, Jeff? This is a very team-friendly deal right now, too. He not only helped himself in 2 years, barring any major injuries, knock on wood, but he actually helps the Lakers a little bit by not taking as much now. So if you don't believe Luka wants to be here, now you got the proof. He hasn't even been here 7 months, and he's already making concessions. But hey, he can't play. Is he going to play defense? Oh, you want Gary Payton defense too, huh? Okay. Good luck with that. Enjoy that. I'm going to go watch him play MVP ball and bring a title to LA. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. I don't know about you guys.
So what are you saying? Say again, as far as what he took less, because the 3-year 165, according to Shams, is a maximum contract extension.
I believe if he had signed a 4-year, I think his annual.
Oh, if he signed a 4-year,
would have been a higher number. Yeah.
Yeah, but if he signed a 3-year, that was at the maximum dollar. What it is, and plus the 1 year, he at the end is a player option. Oh, and by the way, 805 is asking, buried alive or polar bear?
I was reading that. I have no idea.
Okay.
That's bad. That's either one is bad. Polar bears are the worst.
Does he ever think of any good alternatives for us?
Honestly, I think
you'd be alive. You'd be alive while the polar bear's eating you. Eventually, if you were buried alive, you just run out of air, have it collapse on top of you.
See, I can't do that. I think I'd force something in some way for the polar bear to kill me instantly or something. I can't. Being buried alive has to be the worst horror on the planet.
And see, the key is though with Luka's, and I'll ask this of you in a sec, Sean, as far as
actually, you know what? Maybe not, because you'd lose. How long do you think it would take to lose oxygen in a wood box, let's say 6 feet under?
But what if you're
less than 20 minutes?
Okay, then you might Begin Buried Alive might not be as bad as
It's not.
okay. All
okay,
right. Well,
there
you
go.
have your answer there.
As long as I don't breathe, as long as I can die quicker.
The problem is these big things.
Okay,
out in the
get
woods.
rid of Raptors, please, guys. Mods, get rid of Raptors. Anybody that says they're an insider, I want you to outside them.
Yes, yeah, please, yeah.
That's fucking piece of shit.
Joe,
did I just tell you?
Joe.
Sorry.
45.
I thought we passed the hour.
like the old days. It's just like the old days.
Oh, where are we? 46?
It's okay, Gerald.
50. There. That'll be the last curse word I said.
I can't. Yeah, I thought I was going to be the one, but anyway, we tried, Joe.
He'll delete it. He'll edit it. He'll edit it.
I got it.
Anyway,
I have to. But let me ask you this, Sean. Again, I understand what as far as Empire Jeff says about taking concession, but it actually isn't, because the idea is to get to 10 years of service. And I think that Empire Jeff missed on there is the idea is to get the 10 years of service. If he goes with his current contract, as far as the extension in there, that last year, if he waives that, becomes a free agent, that's his 10 years right there. And he's able to sign that 5-year, $417 million. So yeah, adding on an extra year and another guaranteed year wouldn't have done him any service. It's actually going ahead right now and getting that 3 years in there, that 3 years extension, getting that player option, and getting that 10 years of service. So, like Joe says, he can cash out at that time.
Yeah. And what's hilarious?
I think you totally butchered what EJ said.
Wait, I'm butchering off because you said I'm butchering
no, you
off
said I'm funny. No, you said I'm funny.
You.
I can't go any more on that one because I don't want to ruin it.
But Gerald, I think a bigger inflection point here is that this was never a discussion when he was a Mav. He was going to sign the Supermax, and that was that. This was never a discussion.
It was a foregone conclusion that yes, absolutely.
The
Dallas hierarchy.
I'm still confused on what's going on here. Jeff Saul, the Lakers are going to have a rough time. And then Gerald comes out, well, define rough. And then you went into something else. I don't know. I lost it. I was just going off of what you said because I didn't see the actual comment that Empire Jeff said. So, Magic Man, go ahead, my friend. Continue.
Yeah, so I mean, Joe, you and Empire Jeff go watch 8mm and get all the roughness you want. Me and Joe,
he's going to be cashing in 2028. Let's just put it that way.
He will.
He's cashing in 2028.
Easy there, Max, California.
He's cashing.
You
can't be talking about that stuff. We're trying to keep it PG.
You're good. You're
good. You're good.
It makes it so hard to keep a clean show with our audience as it is.
And a straight face.
I got a clean face.
I don't.
Anyway, Gerald, the problem is, like, by the skin of their chinny chin, the Lakers are just below the second apron at this point in time.
As always.
And by design.
Palinkonomics.
Yeah, Palinkonomics.
Here we go. All right.
So what they've decided to do is make it extremely difficult now to improve this team and build around Luka, because now he can only take back 100% of the money he puts out, and that's not going to do us any favors, because you're going to have to likely take back an albatross of a contract. You're probably going to have to either take back Deadwood or a player who's underperformed Gerald and had promise and is a maybe at this point, on top of what you really want. So, and obviously everybody else knows what the Lakers need to do as well to improve. So I think Pelinka's tied both his hands behind his back for this whole season, Gerald.
And it just, again, when it comes right down to it, Joe, Luka says he's all in. Talks about being all in for a championship run this season.
What else
which,
is he going to say?
Goes back.
Hey, guys, I signed this extension so that we can build. Of course he's going to say that.
Well, his exact quote, Gerald, was, I've been to the finals before. I know what it's like. I want to go back. That's exactly what he said.
And when he was asked about the team's championship runs, he says, as far as the chances this season, he said he's all in. He's all in.
We've already set up a scenario on how this is going to work. Right? So yes. Luka looks like is in MVP mode. Actually, I've never seen him this fit. Just saying. I haven't seen him this fit. So
careful, Franco will get you on that.
And Luka's not the same guy off the court as he is on the court. He has a nastiness about him, and that's what we like. So if Luka is healthy and plays 75 games at least, he's going to put a hurting with a squirting. Sorry, I had to say that. And why'd you get rid of Sean?
I didn't. He got rid of himself.
Oh, Sean.
Maybe he was so disturbed by your comments.
That was almost that took him out. Anyways, so we got a pretty good feeling that Luka's going to be MVP Luka. Now, whether he wins the MVP or not, that's irrelevant. I'm talking I want an MVP Luka because we all know how the East and the Midwest, especially the North Midwest area, likes to vote. They always like to vote after, let me think, anything below 9 p.m. games, right? We know that, right? So, because there has never been an LA Laker MVP that wasn't a 1 seed. Interesting stat that I happened to find, at least not in the modern game. So Kareem, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, all 4 of those guys won MVPs as Lakers, and all had to have a 1 seed to get those MVPs. Are the Lakers likely to get an MVP at a 1 seed? Would they give it to him if the Lakers were a 1 seed? Probably, because no one is expecting them to be a 1 seed.
Oh, yeah.
So that's likely what it's going to take. However, we need him to be an MVP candidate, top 1, top 2, top 3, whatever, right? Then we need LeBron to stay LeBron, like he maybe last year without getting hurt, and then everyone else needs to improve. DeAndre Ayton needs to improve. Reeves, just a little bit. And if you can do that, a couple of things go your way, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
So let me use the exact quote again. I said it at the beginning of the show before these guys came on. Sean, it was when the question was asked on the Lakers championship chances next season. He said, we're going to go for it. And we're going to go for it means what to you when you hear that, but you see the roster that's around him. And again, Xbox, I know he's all in on this team. I know he's all in. I give him a lot of credit for that, for having that kind of faith. Laker Tom already writing the articles on how great this team is, in his opinion, in regards to that. But you and I, again, who have watched this game for decades, understands basically what the challenge is and how this team was laid out. I do have my concerns. They did not really make strides into reshaping that bench. That was second worst in the league last year. They are still a team, even with DeAndre Ayton, still a team that needs help rebounding. They are still a team that has issues as far as perimeter defense, even with Marcus Smart, who you hope can stay upright for more than 60 games this season. There's still a lot of issues that we think need to be addressed for this team to go. But again, I still feel that this team, if everything broke right, starting with Luka averaging 31.9 like he did in his best season as a pro, if he does that this season, the Lakers still have a chance, provided everything goes right.
Yes, Gerald. and everything pretty much has to go right this time. Lakers are likely, and I'm sure there are going to be tweaks and adjustments here or there. But for the most part, if this is the core, 6, 7 guys you're going to war with, there is a serious talent deficiency there. The deeper you go, and the longer the playoffs stretch out, Gerald. Defenses get better. The coaching, we know, Gerald, the coaching is better. The scouting is better. And, this team just cannot. Okay, I'll also put it this way, Gerald. If everything goes right, the Lakers still need just a little bit more out of everybody on the roster, even to get to the finals, because other than LeBron and Austin Reeves, the Lakers have limitations as far as even their offensive repertoire for their players. Rui has issues finishing at the rim. Jared Vanderbilt can't finish at the rim. Marcus Smart can't really get to the rim anymore either, even at 31. When we look at shooting, up and down, Rui's really your only consistent shooter outside of Luka, Gerald. LeBron and Austin can be good, but they can also be streaky. Smart maybe has a game or two in a week or two stretch where, he's lights out, but for the most part, he's very streaky. Vanderbilt can't shoot. LaRavia is streaky. There's just too many holes on the offensive end to make up for the lack of talent. They need a shot in the arm at the guard position, or you need a point forward that can create for themselves and others. And teams don't usually trade those guys either, Gerald. It's not like they grow on trees. So if a team usually has a guy like that, they try to secure his employment for as long as possible. And definitely, at this point in time, Gerald, if you had a really great player, would you really want to deal with the Lakers, or would you rather deal with a team that gave you 3, 4, or 5 first-round picks?
I want to go for it now. I want to go for it always. When you have an open window, Magic, you should do everything.
No, I'm asking you, if you were another team and you had a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, would you really deal them for 2 first-rounders, or would you look for 3 or 4 or 5?
I would try to grease it out for all it's worth. That's the idea. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the idea. If you're a good GM, you're trying to go ahead and get as much for your team back as you can get.
Look at it.
For instance, if I'm going to offer you an unprotected 2026 first round pick for a middle first round, possibly undersized center who has gotten injured, has some conditioning questions, you do it, right? Especially when they offer you the unprotected pick. It's like, okay, I'll take it. Oh,
well, look, we tried to pass off some of our freaking junk to Minnesota, Gerald. Tried to grease them for Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Did you read about that? We probably offered Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt and probably a sweetener on top of it, Gerald. Minnesota still said no.
Yeah, and I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. The problem is nobody wants our junk. That's the big problem. We have
closer to the end of the season, though, that may change. Those expiring deals, they become more attractive to teams that are looking to rebuild for the next season, or teams that have had disappointing year or whatnot. So that may prove to be something in the Lakers' benefit. If the Lakers are at a top 5 seed in the Western Conference, Magic, I think that the Lakers should consider strongly utilizing those assets then. But
yeah, absolutely, Gerald. And really, let's talk about the illusion of trading for Drew Holiday, Gerald, or trading for somebody trading for Vucevic. Nobody's trading for these guys. So it's going to be a wait and see approach. My guess is contenders will line up for Drew Holiday. Portland's going to audition him, Gerald, so he's going to play. They're going to have to because they have to. They're going to have to unload him because no one's going to trade for him at this point.
I agree.
Same thing with Vucevic. So, I mean, at this point in time, you're looking at Rob Pelinka, and he's going to look around the margins to try and improve this team. Or say he's trying to improve the team.
We'll have to see if it's not just words, but action, indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Magic Man Sean Grice, Joe Soro, me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you joining us for hopefully another good hour of conversation on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have signed Joe Soro. Not Joe Soro, but there you go. They've signed Joe Soro to a 3-year, $165 million. Would not be great. But they've signed Luka Doncic to a 3-year, $165 million extension, Joe. Before we get to the question, I want to go ahead and ask you, as far as to continue this conversation, any last words for Raptors Insider before we kick them on out? Yes, because I was waiting for you to do that. That's why I didn't want to go ahead and kick him out as per your requests yet.
Joe, you're on mute.
No, he's on.
Okay, so here's what I wish for Raptors Insider if he's in Canada. I hope you walk out of your door and you slip on the snow and hit your face on the stairs.
Okay. I just want to go ahead and say that. All right.
And that's not exaggerating. Like, I literally hope that happens to you. And,
so what you do, because you were asking, Joe, you were asking how you do it. Again, there's 3 little dots if you open up another browser. And if you're the moderator, I don't know if I've added you as a moderator. That may be the point.
I think mods should do it. I'm trying to focus on the show when I'm on here, not listen to a bunch of tulips. And it's just I'm here to do a show. People are asking questions. I got to answer them. You know, that's the whole point of the show, right? So I'm going to go to Curry's thing, and then I'll answer your question, Gerald. Curry asked, what are my thoughts that JJ is comparing Bronny to Derek Fisher? I mean, this is the part where JJ Redick has continuously set himself up in my head in the God, I can't talk normal tonight. In timeout. Like JJ Redick has said so many dumb things, 2 of them, 2 really, really dumb ones before he became a Laker, and this one might be the 3rd one. So you insult Derek Fisher by saying that Bronny's comp is Derek Fisher. I'm trying to understand where in his game is that anywhere near Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher was built like a middle linebacker when he came out of Arkansas, Little Rock. And the only reason why his defense got bad post 2001, 2002 was because he damaged his ankle. But he became a better shooter, and of course, he became more clutch, right? So that was the switch off. Some of us would definitely take that, right?
Obviously, it worked if you're a Orlando fan. Saw that coming.
So I'm trying to understand I cannot wait for this to be over with this guy. I don't know where people are with this. I can't understand how they think Bronny is going to be a NBA player. I'm still in complete bewilderment on how this is still going on. Like, are you really telling yourself this? Like, you're getting up in the morning, looking in the mirror, like Bronny's going to be a good NBA player. Is that what's going on?
But the thing is, Joe, I'm not saying I support it, but I'm telling you, as I've told you've heard me the past couple of weeks say this. The Lakers bench, even with the upgrade of Marcus Smart, if he stays healthy, that's a big if, is still one of the worst benches in the entire NBA. One person that averages right now under 10 points a game is not going to make it a whole lot better, no matter how good a defense he's going to give you. The thing is, if that's the case, Joe, that means that there's going to be several times, whether through injury or just a lack of productivity, especially with Dalton Connect in such a miserable mindset right now. And he wasn't there either at that press conference.
If
Bronny
has a bigger role on this team this coming year, the Lakers are not winning a championship. Not even close.
I'm just going to say this. You've heard me say this, that JJ will look down his bench. And every coach does this.
Yeah, I know how that works. I remember I grew up with certain dads having influence on the coaches. Yeah. I know how it works. I just never thought it happened in the NBA or the NFL or the Major League Baseball. I never thought that would happen.
Did he really do well, Sharon? Are you really? Did he? He had a couple of double-digit games, but did you look at his shooting percentage? Did you look at the 8 turnovers when he was given the point? Did he really have a good summer? Now, it was leagues better than last year. I will give you that. And it was leagues better than what Dalton did.
Yeah, let's not go nuts. He improved. Let's not go nuts.
But was it really a good, quote-unquote, summer league?
He improved. That's as far as I'm willing to go.
Yeah, he improved. I'll give him that. Absolutely. But yeah, it wasn't a good, like Kyle Filipowski, 30-point double-double average.
So Gerald, really I think you could check mark satisfactory.
Satisfactory, I'll give him that, Joe. I mean, it was definitely, after seeing him launch airball after airball a year ago against Houston in the summer league. This is, even 8 turnovers is still a leagues better than what.
Yeah, Gerald, and good on you for recognizing that Dalton Connect wasn't there. It's at this point in time, Gerald, it's pretty obvious Dalton's trying to isolate himself from the Lakers as much as he can.
A bad thing.
It is a bad thing. Yeah. It's a bad thing. Yeah. So that he is the biggest question mark this season, without a doubt.
Yeah,
that he is the biggest enigma on this team.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And that's the problem. You were hoping in his second year, Joe, that he would find himself. The second-year players, especially at the summer league, they always seem to do dramatic. Again, Bronny even get to satisfactory level was a big improvement over what he did last year. Even he showed improvement. You have to admit that. Now, mind you, he was still, 30% from the three-point area. It's still high turnover ratio. He's not a point guard per se in the NBA as of this time. You're going to have to play him off ball. It's clear that he's not developed into the Marcus Smart that, or young Marcus Smart that everybody's hoping yet that he is. He's still a long ways away from being a regular contributor, but he will get looks, unfortunately. I'm assuming through, again, injury or some type of lack of performance, which, again, when one of the worst benches in the entire league is quite possible, he is going to get looks, Joe, whether you and I like it or not.
It has nothing to do with me or you. You play Bronny any significant minutes in an important game. And regular season games are important. You will lose. I'm sorry, if your reliance is on Bronny James at any point in this season, you are in major trouble. Good luck.
They're gonna be spots where we're in major trouble. Then
you think
I can't argue with you on this.
If you think the Gazelles in the NBA, like the Jalen Williams and the SGAs, you think of these guys are gonna see Bronny James sitting in front of them? God help the Lakers at that point. They will barbecue him like he was chicken, steak, and pork together. It won't even. It will be a nightmare. He won't last 5 seconds.
He's a turducken.
Turducken. That was a chicken duckin. It was a chick mitt porkin. If you just need to watch, look at guys like Austin Reeves, look at guys like Vanderbilt, right? Jared Vanderbilt. These guys are Jared Vanderbilt.
A little Freudian slip there, folks.
Jared Vanderbilt is 6'8" with long arms, long limbs. He has the prototypical perfect
He's Gumby.
basketball.
He's Gumby. He should be Gumby up there.
He has the perfect NBA physique, right? That guy can't do squat. And then Austin Reeves tries his rear end off. He's trying, but he can't catch up. Now imagine a player that's smaller than those guys. He's got some hops. I'll give him that. But what else does he have? Can he handle the ball? Is he big enough? Just doesn't look good.
Can you shoot?
And you're asking yourself, why are we focusing so much on the bench? And Sean, it's a matter, and Joe, it's a matter of we talked about this before in previous weeks. When you have a terrible bench, it makes it so much more difficult during the regular season for Luka and LeBron, especially LeBron, going on his 41 age year. He'll be 41, folks, in December.
They need Laravia. They need Laravia to come through.
Yeah.
Because if you have Marcus Smart, who's a veteran guy in a position that the Lakers need, a guard who can play defense, I just don't know I don't know what else. I have to see him play for an entire season. It's been a couple seasons. So you do have some guys that are valuable off the bench right now. Laravia, maybe they got him at the right time and he gets better.
He could be, okay, based on his career.
Right.
His good season was last season. He's very young, 23, so he could be on the up. He could very much be on the up, Joe.
But see, the thing is, Sharon, is Jackson Hayes has something that not a lot of people have. He's 7 feet tall and can jump out the building. There is value there. The unfortunate part is it's only during the regular season, which I'm fine with. The Lakers do need a backup center, a veteran backup center that can help DeAndre Ayton when he sits. We've talked about that. So as far as the regular season is concerned, the starting lineup is going to be Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton. The guys coming off the bench as of now that are likely going to be playing is going to be Gabe Vincent, Laravia, Marcus Smart, Jackson Hayes. Those are like the 9. Those are the 9 that you're probably going to see as if they're available. And then if they throw in Kleber in there, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I have to see it. I'm not going to count on it though. And then you throw in somebody like Bronny in there, thinking that he's going to be part of the rotation. My brain isn't clicking on that. And then Dalton, I'm not even at this point. Somebody out there is going to have to say, you know what, we can change him. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen with him.
Go ahead, Magic.
Yeah, Gerald. I was going to say, yeah, I have a nickname for the bench so far. It's Danny DeVito from Twins.
Yes.
He got all the good parts. I put all the crap in you. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or disrespectful at all, but the bench is terrible. It's bad. It hasn't been improved. It was bad last year. It was bad the year before. Pelinka has not had a decent Lakers bench that he's put together, Gerald, since 2019, 2020. Because a previous regime put together a lot of intriguing young players, and some of them came off the bench. So Pelinka and Magic don't get credit for that. But who has Pelinka drafted, Gerald, and developed to become a solid rotational player in the NBA?
Good question. It's
THT? No. Bronny James? No. Dalton Connect? No. I don't trust him to build talent around Luka Doncic.
The best rotation players that they build, Magic, Caruso and Reeves, were undrafted.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, that Gerald, and people, I'm surprised people wonder why you and I and most other Laker fans are skeptical about Pelinka. Everybody should be skeptical about him.
It just doesn't seem that he had the same timeline. If you see and you get reports that Luka is working out like a madman to try and get into championship shape, because I'm sure that that he took that to heart what JJ said at the end of last season, and that really made it, really brought it home. And I wish that Rob would have taken it at the offseason as seriously as Luka did. That's I think the point you and I are trying to make.
Yes, 100%. The Boston Celtics acquired Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis within a matter of months, Gerald. They had a plan of attack. They knew exactly what players they needed to have around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they built around them. And they spent over $500 million to win one championship, Gerald. And people expect Rob Pelinka, because he happens to be the Lakers GM, to be able to sprinkle fairy dust on 29 other GMs and obtain a player that is basically top 10. What the Lakers require at this point is another top 10 player around Luka Doncic. You build around those two, that would be a recipe. I don't believe Rob Pelinka has the mental fortitude and the assets to get that done.
Joe, let me bring in what Brad said here. He said he thinks the Lakers did pretty well in the offseason. Again, I said a B to B minus. Again, they did not have to spend a lot. They've got players. In Aiden's case, he burnt two bridges. He's trying to rebuild his career. Marcus Smart, he was jettisoned because he asked for his release to be, and to help resurrect his career. Jake LaRavia is obviously trying to build this 2-year deal with the Lakers into something much more substantial for the basis of his career. Again, low risk, potentially high reward options on each. I'm not disputing that in the sense, but with the way Houston went out and made the changes and upgrades that they did, with what Denver did to solidify long-term needs for that organization, plus they got more financially feasible at the same time in doing so, and seeing what OKC did, basing they going all in on their future with solidifying their top three as far as extensions are concerned. It just seems like the Lakers, yes, they were good moves, Brad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you differently, but to me, I don't think they're moves that put this team as high up or as confident as Lakers fans should feel like they should be going into the season. It's just the teammates around Luka. There are so many things that you and I could poke holes at, which is still a problem heading into the season for a team that's supposedly, like Luka, supposed to be going for it right now.
I don't think there's any team in the NBA, even OKC, that doesn't have holes. The NBA,
no, they all have holes, but the Lakers, we seem to point out a lot of holes.
Gaping holes. Gaping.
I don't care.
Can Luka, playing at an MVP level, how much can he cover for those holes?
I mean, if you're going to cover at any point in your career, it'd be at age 26 in the best shape of your life.
This isn't the NFL. Let's not go there, Gerald. Let's not go there. This isn't the NFL. He is not Patrick Mahomes. He can't lift up this team, Gerald, with the roster he has. He cannot take this team to a finals. This roster. The Mavericks team he took to the finals had much more talent than this roster.
And I'm saying a lot has to go right for the Lakers to get to the finals.
If this coaching staff and these guys are more worried about whether Bronny James is going to be the next Derek Fisher, that's going to be more of an incentive for the new ownership that finally takes over, hopefully in November, October, December, whenever it is, to say this isn't going to work. down the road. And I don't believe it's going to work. JJ Redick doesn't have the temperament, I think, to run a setup. And maybe he got in this too young. I don't know. I'm making an excuse, by the way. That's total BS. I just don't think he's going to be the coach of the future. I don't think.
Because look, Mark Daigneaul's younger than Redick, correct?
And Daigneault, and he's not. He's okay. He's a good coach. I wouldn't say he's a great coach. Who's a great coach these days? Really? I don't know. Who would you consider a great coach in the NBA?
Mark Daigneault, the guy who just won the title.
Because he won?
No, because he took a team that won 17 games and took them all the way to winning 68 and a championship.
He was getting out coached by Carlisle.
Oh, by the way, he
was getting out coached badly in the finals. He won that series because of talent. And we don't know what would have happened.
Always has that moniker, Curry. But the thing is, have we seen those kind of results? As
Eric Spoelstra is good. He's not. He's
two finals though in this decade.
He's good. He's good. But I to me, I don't know, especially with parity starting to rear its head now. You're talking about a Denver team that fired their head coach. It's starting to turn into hockey now, NHL hockey. They fired Michael Malone, and they almost got better in a lot of ways. They almost beat Oklahoma City. If they were a little healthier, they probably would have. I think there's something happening in the NBA where,
but Joe, let me ask you a question.
Great coaches might not be needed anymore.
Why couldn't Scott Brooks win a championship with the talent he had, but Daigneault did?
I don't think Oklahoma City, and this is
no. I'm not. Answer the question.
I'm going to answer the question.
Why did Brooks not win a title with more talent than Daigneault did?
Because James Harden blew at chunks. He blew chunks in the 2012 finals, which set the stage for negotiations for his next deal. At the time, Presti's like, I'm not giving you max money for a third star who can't come through at the end, right? So if James Harden stays, I have zero doubt that Durant, Harden, and Westbrook win at least one title during that Golden State run. There's too much talent there.
Okay. I disagree that Carlisle outcoached Daigneault because I'll say this. 4 out of the 7 games, Jalen Williams did not play well. 4 out of the 7 games, SGA did not play well. 4 out of the 7 games, Chet Holmgren did not play well. And they still found a way to win.
And why was that? Why do you think that was?
Because he found a way to work around problems with his superstars. And great coaches can do that. I think that's the big difference between somebody like Mark Daigneault and Ime Udoka. What did Udoka do anything in Boston yet? No. Mazzola did. So, but Udoka still gets credit for it. I want to see Udoka actually win. Then I'll call somebody like him a great coach too.
That's not how it works sometimes. But Jerry Sloan was a great coach. Jerry Sloan was a great coach, and he didn't win a championship because, unfortunately, he ran into Michael Jordan.
Oh, come on, bro. The Jazz were an overrated franchise from the 80s on, man. They got swept in the postseason once by Don Nelson, Joe. Don Nelson, people think that the players and coaches today are allergic to defense. Watch a Don Nelson team play defense, and I watched it. He ripped John Stockton, Karl Malone's assholes up. Their assholes up. The only reason that the Jazz really got to where they got to was because that group overachieved, and they played Jerry Sloan's system to the hilt. He was a great coach, but his system was vanilla paste. That's why Phil Jackson was able to outcoach him, because he knew Jerry Sloan could never adjust.
I don't agree with that. you look at those Jazz teams in 97, 98, if it wasn't for Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, they win those finals. And they almost did anyways. You're talking about last-second shots in more than one game.
I'll just leave it here. John Stockton is the all-time NBA leader in assists. Ladies and gentlemen, look where he is on the postseason list compared to one Irvin Magic Johnson. Fuck you, Utah.
Oh, my God. 125-37. You guys make it hard when I tell you not to curse. It's like the old days. Never mind. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break.
Problem is he magnified it with his gyration. Now you can't just, you got to edit like 2 seconds of his fingers.
Just the audio. It's just the audio.
Good. It's just the audio. Okay, good.
Just the audio.
So you can just bleep it then.
Yes.
I'm trying to. I'm going into my old radio mode where I'm not.
Yes.
I've switched it. It's okay. It's like coming into my house back when I was a kid. I wouldn't curse in the house with the parents in there. We can argue what we think is great and what is good. I think that's kind of the argument with who's the greatest of all time BS, right? At this point, it doesn't matter because common sense says when new management, new ownership come in, things usually go in the way of what they want. They want their own middle management. They want their own coaching. They want their own general managers. Now, here's what's probably going to happen, though, because Jeannie is still going to have the title. And for the audio people, I'm doing little rabbit ears. She's in charge. Rabbit ears. Okay, she's in charge. Yeah, sure. She might say, please, can you leave Rob here? Fine. Rob can be here. But I don't want him being the player personnel guy. You all know where I want him. Remember, paper clips, enough sheets for the printer. That's fine. Make sure that's done. As a general manager, that's what general manager, right? Good. And that's what's going to happen, guys. That's why I'm not worried. It's not worried. And now you guys can relax because Luka just signed a 3-year deal. He's going to opt out after 2, and he's going to sign a 5-year, $417 million extension. This is going to be a 10-year run. Luka doesn't rely on freakish athleticism. And if Chris Paul is going to play until he's 80, I don't see any reason why Luka can't be a star for the next 7 years and a really good player from 8, 9, and 10. That's a 10-year run. Can he win 3 championships? Can he win 2? I'll take either one. So if we go 10 years from now, let's say 10 years from now, and you look back after that going, okay, Luka won us 3 championships. I think you're going to take it and say, you know what? We kind of left some on the table, but man, we got 3. And you're very likely passing the Celtics at that point too. So I'll take that. I'll be 57 by then. Probably have the option of retiring, by the way.
Yeah, I don't even want to know how much I'll be at that time.
Well, you'll definitely be in retirement age.
Yeah, that'll be the problem. But Magic Man,
I might be dead. Who knows?
With the previous statement on JJ Redick, okay, let's say the Lakers, they go into February at top 5 seed. Let's say Rob does his due diligence, whether he's still there or not as GM. Seemed like today they're all big one happy family. Mark, Jeannie, Rob, as far as this past weekend. And with that, I want to ask you real quickly: is JJ Redick going to be the issue? Let's say that Rob does his due diligence and actually gets a better team that you and I say, hey, that was a good move. Hey, that's what we need. Hey, that's really going to help the bench. Hey, that's another starter in there that can shoot and play defense. That's a really good job come February. And it looks like this could be a team that can go. The problem is JJ Redick going to be the coach that's going to be able to go with them?
Yeah, that's a great question, Cheryl. I will say this. I have more confidence in JJ being able to self-critique and realize he's made mistakes, Gerald, and self-correct. We saw it in the playoffs when he only played 5 guys and recognized an error and a mistake, self-corrected, made sure it's not going to happen again. That's one area that he has improved on. But you're right. I mean, if let's say Pelinka does do his due diligence, does JJ Redick have the foresight, patience, and strategy to be able to implement a great player into the system in time? I'm not sure. I don't have as much confidence in him that regard as others do. Like Joe said, I mean, the Lakers got Luka here almost midstream, and JJ didn't run one set for him at the end of games for a closeout. So, I have less confidence in JJ's ability as a tactician. Honestly, I think he's completely. As for now, he's completely overrated as a tactician because I just don't see it.
And he's controlled by LeBron in an indirect way, because there's no reason to not use Luka in those situations, but you're not, because you're maybe worried about LeBron turning into Scottie Pippen. Maybe not. He's not going to be as direct as Scottie Pippen, but passively, which is worse. At least Scottie Pippen showed his colors out the gate. He sat down and then watched Tony Kukoc hit that game winner to prove that he was wrong. But that's only, again, this cannot be a high school football team with the daddy being around. This is all daddies around who puts money to the boosters, and now you got to play their people. That's why I didn't get into coaching. That's why I didn't get into coaching, because I knew it wouldn't last. Everything that I was probably supposed to do in my life in the sports world, I didn't do because of things like that. I don't play politics. I do not play politics, and I never will. I am a talent one-based person. If you suck ass, I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care who your mammy is. I don't care who your grandfather is 50 years ago. It means nothing to me. Can you ball? Can you work? Can you do your thing? That's all that matters. And that's not how it works in these corporate worlds and these whatever worlds. It's just, this is how it works.
Oh yeah. That's why I loved Moneyball when he walks right into the cubicle. Whose uncle are you?
Well, I will say this. I know that Johnny said, Gerald, why do you need someone who can shoot? Let AR, Luka, LBJ, and Arabia shoot. Lakers need JT, Thor, and Bol. Okay. I'll say this. Again, one of the things that the Lakers do need, among a myriad of things still, which is, again, part of the reason why I cannot put them as a top 3 favorite right now in the Western Conference, guys. I didn't say I wouldn't put them 4th. Didn't say I wouldn't put them 5th or 6th. I said that they have a window. They have a pathway, but it's a narrower pathway than I would like at this stage of the summer. I would like a little bit more confidence in the team, but they don't. But one of the things that they don't have enough of is shooters. Luka needs shooters to help open things up in the offense. You see how good he is when he can get in the lane, Magic Man, when he can go ahead and drive. And if you have multiple shooters out on the wings that can hit shots at a 39, 40, 41% clip, whether it's a good LeBron year where he's all in, because you see it's either one or the other. It's either LeBron's a great shooter this year or he's not lately as a Laker. You have Rui shooting at 40+%. If LaRavia can shoot like he did with Memphis last season at 44%, then it makes things a lot easier for Luka. But again, if not, then you need to go and find shooters somewhere that can help Luka be able to operate. When he's able to operate cleanly and smoothly in the key, it creates so many more good things for your offense, Magic Man, which I think is also a key to the success of this team.
100%, Gerald. 100%. Let's see. Jalen Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxi Kleber, PJ Washington, Spencer Dinwiddie, like, I'm not even talking about great shooters, but these guys were able to hit open shots when he found them on dime, set, ready, go. We need more shooting. I'm so like Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves was the only, I believe, only Laker in the top 30 as far as like true shooting percentage goes. So there needs to be significant improvement. LeBron. So, and it's kind of funny, Gerald. Somebody was mentioning, oh yeah, Luka's always in great shape coming into the season. Well, I seem to recall 2018, 2019, where he struggled to shoot from three for the first 30 games, Gerald. So that and again, we're talking about conditioning issues. So if his conditioning issues have improved, I see no reason why the shooting wouldn't improve either, Gerald. But I've only mentioned two shooters there, Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. And Gerald, like you said, Luka can't pass the ball to himself. So I think the Lakers need at least two more quality shooters this year if you want to compete to try and get to a finals.
Either trade for them or they have to develop somewhere within that ranks of that roster to be reliable shooters. I get that. But, Joe, that could also mean it has to become from Luka and Reeves themselves, because those are, I'll go back to what Laker Tom always, past couple of years has said, oh, the Lakers need to be a high volume 3-point shooting team. They need to be a high volume 3-point shooting team. Well, guess what? Luka comes on this team. They're a high volume 3-point shooting team. Wouldn't it be great in his final year on his current contract for Reeves, and what hopefully you think is going to be the start of an MVP series of MVP-like seasons for Luka Doncic, if those two guys can evolve from 35% shooters to 38, 39, maybe even 40 on such high volume? It's only 2-3 percentage points, Joe, but boy, what a difference that makes if those guys, those two primarily, really start to shoot a lot better from three as well, Joe.
You're talking about Reeves and who?
Luka. Luka's only a 35% shooter on average.
Oh,
go ahead, Magic. Hold on, Magic. Go ahead.
True, Joe, but I believe on his step backs, he's 38, 39%.
I'm talking about the overall. Because on his volume, when he shoots 7-8 a game, he's only hitting about 35% of them. And same thing for Reeves. And that has to improve as well. Go ahead, Joe.
I don't care about percentages. I care about how the offense flows. I care about the players that are on the team enhancing what they're good at. I'm not expecting Austin Reeves to be this sniper from three. I don't think that's ever going to be him. And I don't know necessarily how Austin needs the ball in his hands to be as effective as he as his best attribute is having the ball in his hand and being able to somewhat create. I don't know how you do that with Luka on the floor. LeBron in a lot of ways is the same way too, but LeBron can adapt. He can get to the basket where Luka can kind of stay back when he can do that. So that makes a little more sense because now the defense is going to be off balance. They're not going to know what's going on. If LeBron draws into defense, draws into big, and then throws it out, and you have Luka wide open, that's a problem. Luka's not going to miss wide open shots regularly. Austin, I don't know so much. I don't know if he's that good of a shooter. That's something he's going to have to really improve with. And if I'm JJ Redick,
especially if the defense does improve,
the defense will not likely improve because Austin's not that guy. As far as it would have to be a team defensive setup, but then DeAndre Ayton isn't that guy. He's an anchor that's going to clean up bad defense in front of him or have it funneled to him. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to be very, very fundamentally sound and very in tune with the process and very in tune with the philosophy of what they want to be. So if you're looking at this team, what is this team? What really is this team going to be? I want you to think about this for a second. It's Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves as your backcourt, and then you have Rui and LeBron as your 3 or 4, whoever which one is what, and then you have a legitimate center. So what is the personality of this team? What is this team going to be known for when they're running on all cylinders? I don't know, because I have to see improvement from everyone to really know, other than LeBron, but LeBron needs to be preserved. So that's when LaRavia, that's when Marcus Smart, and that's the only two I can say at this point, because I've seen enough of Gabe Vincent. I have no confidence there. I don't see anything positive with Vanderbilt. I don't see anything positive with Bronny. So
you don't think? Well, let me ask you this on Vando. Again, you and I are not on Vando Hill, but you don't see him improving at all this season because he's a year removed from that double foot surgery?
No.
Okay.
No, he will help in the regular season, but it needs to be. But the problem is, if basketball teams played every game, it'd be a different story. The problem is none of these guys play more than 60, 65 games usually. They're usually playing around 65 games if that's a full season. So now you have 17 games a year that you have to rely on a Jared Vanderbilt or someone that's covering for Jared Vanderbilt. You have to rely on those guys to. How do you have a philosophy? How do you have an identity unless everyone is on board? And not on this team. There's just too many different talents there. There's too many players that have deficiencies in areas that aren't really consistent with being able to just throw them in there for DeAndre Ayton and say they'll at least be able to cover like DeAndre Ayton. There's just too much of a difference.
What we're trying to say is there isn't a complementary roster around Luka. He does this really well, so I need a guard to do this really well. But the guard can't do it very well, so I need the forward to do it. But the forward isn't good at that. There are just too many holes that you need to put into the dike right now. And that's just it. It's a leaky boat. It's a leaky boat.
If you think, here's the issue with this team, with the complementary guys. They're not highly IQ basketball players. Gabe Vincent is not. Definitely Jared Vanderbilt is not. Jackson Hayes is not. And you're talking about 3 guys that are going to play a lot. These guys are going to play a lot. You know that. And that's the problem. You have 3 guys that are supposed to be complementary players, guys that are going to be that are supposed to fill in gaps, and they're not very bright. And when you're not smart, what dumb teams lose? I'm sorry, what dumb teams win in sports? I was raised in listening to Chuck Noll and Vince Lombardi and Phil Jackson. So there's a line that Kobe says in the first championship DVD after the Lakers beat Indiana. Kobe says, Phil Jackson says, you can play hard all you want, but it's how smart you play. It's not about how hard you can play. Hard has nothing to do with it anymore. And what is working hard? That's something I've been talking to a lot of people about just in general. Oh, I work hard and I'm doing this, and I'm like, what do you mean you work hard?
Everybody works hard.
What the hell does that even mean? You worked hard. You know what working hard for me is? I'll tell you what it is. It's very basic. You're working hard doing manual labor so that you can pay your rent. Cars, all that, you can get a clunker and not have a payment. You can go and not buy dinner at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like, you can avoid that. What you have to have is shelter, water, and food. So the biggest expense at that point is going to be the house
and air, which is, the quality of air in California and Las Vegas is better than Canada right now, Jared.
That's a shock, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that that's going on. So working hard. Stop telling me you work hard. Okay, you're in an office, grab whatting with a bunch of other cubicle slaves. Don't tell me you work hard. Oh, I'm thinking and I'm plotting, and I'm like, yeah. And there are kids that just made your iPhone in other parts of the area that are working hard too.
I just got that image of Pete gutting that fish in Office Space when you're talking about working hard.
You know what? Sharon finally agrees with you.
No,
wow.
She's agreed with me more than that. Come on. She's just Sharon knows I'm right. She knows I'm right more than I'm wrong. Well, actually, I'm not really.
Well,
she does disagree with you about JJ.
To quote Kwame Brown, who let Gilbert Arenas know about his level of intelligence.
That was. See, here's the thing with that sequence. That's what happens, and it's a beautiful thing when you do it. That's what happens when you call someone out in front of them and in public. You don't get that chance a lot. When you can, you have to do it. Because he had no answer. What was he going to say? What was Gilbert going to say? Because it was true. And on top of that, he kept adding to it, and Kwame kept outdoing that. He's like, no. This. Oh, no. When you did this, you did this. Like, he couldn't get out of it. He was stuck. He was right there, and you just kept hammering him with it. And is it any coincidence that the people we don't like keep getting busted, Gerald? The Shannon Sharps, the Gilbert Arenases. We're not just here just to yap and hate. I'm not a hater. I am not a hater. I am not against any of these. I don't even know these guys. But when you act like a schmuck, when you don't have to, you are an idiot. You're an idiot. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how famous. That means nothing. It means nothing. And what's great about being able to not be, you're not a victim of celebrity or a victim of being in an environment where you, for some weird reason, want to kiss these guys' rear end. Why? I never really understood that either. These guys are high class garbage. And their lifestyle proves it. It doesn't matter how rich they are, how famous. It doesn't matter.
He told them that too. It did,
and he told them that. It's this, and it's important that this has to be. We have to set an example. You don't have. I'm not asking people to be perfect. No one is perfect. People make a mistake. People make mistakes. But this is different, and that's what always cracks me up. That people put everything in one category. I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with what this guy is. It has nothing to do with Shannon Sharp and how his idiot brain works. Or guys like Michael Irvin back in the day. I still can't stand Michael Irvin. Because they have this, they think that they've gotten away from who they are. And then you start watching them a little bit. This happens in real life all the time, by the way. It's not just Michael Irvins and the Shannon Sharps of the world. You listen to people talk. You go to these events that you see people that you already know, and all of a sudden, like it's 2-3 years later, and then you're just saying, okay, let me see if this guy is kind of cleaned up his act a little bit. Then you'll just kind of sit there and watch. Like, this guy's still a douche. That's what it is. And if somebody wants to come at me, which they have, everybody turns into Freud. Everyone, Joe, you're battling some insecurity, so that's why you have to do some kind of backlash. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Take your Facebook University degree, and you know where to go with it, okay? I go,
did somebody really tell you that on Facebook?
Oh, I've had that happen so many times from all the Freudians out there.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that's what it is. And then I have to explain to them, like, why don't you, again, I always tell everybody the same thing. I go, you need to hang out with me.
Very relaxed to Facebook University because Dean Zuckerberg might be after
you. It's not. Look, smart is always the right way to go. Now, that has different connotations to it. I'm not talking about Harvard smart either. Sometimes those guys, the academia guys, the intellectuals, those guys aren't that bright either. I'm talking, you got to be bright in the sense of common sense, and you got to be bright in that understanding how people operate. And when you don't do that, that's where you run into a lot of problems. And if you're not able to do that, I would hope that you could stay away from those areas.
Because you don't need to be a gynecologist to know which way the wind blows.
But Joe, any woman can take a good man down. That is true, Nick. But being someone who puts a lot of pressure on men to not have that happen. See, men succumb to the pheromone. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't succumb to the pheromone. You have total power if you don't let that happen. They can't take you down. How are they going to take you down? How? Remember I told you the story about the massage thing? If I was famous, there'd be 15 cameras in there and 2 people that are not my, like I need 2 security guards, third parties, one sitting on each side. So, in case, cameras. Now we can go and proceed to the massage, right? We don't want any Deshaun Watsons. We don't want any, geez.
Or you can say you're Alan Dershowitz and you kept your underwear on.
First of all, when you get a massage, you're in your underwear. Anyways, how the hell is she going to get to your back and your legs? Which is funny too. You said that. It's funny you said that, Sean. I had a really nice lady, and this was very respectful, and it was one of the best massages I ever had. She asked. She said, "Joe, can I get to the glutes, like just below it?" Oh my God, I had never had that area released. It was wow. I was like, "Look, whatever you did there, we got to do that again." In the most respectful way. And of course, she started laughing. This is after we were done, of course, when I had everything on. I was like, look, there's only one person that's ever touched me there. That was my wife in the last 20 years. So yeah. No, I am not, Brad. No, I'm not. Wait, is that Brad asking that question? Joe Soro, not a hater, sounds gayo. We totally veered off this, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Shannon
right off. We're right off.
We usually do.
At this point, we're Mad Maxing it.
That train's rolling down the mountain by now.
We usually go. We usually do that. We usually go off the tracks on this experiment, but it makes sense over there because it's an it's experiment.
And that'll be coming up here in 7 minutes for you guys.
Not yet. No, not today. Not tonight.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you were prepping.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Soro, that's a good list. That's a good list. I'd substitute 2 guys out of there, but I agree with 8 out of 10.
Yeah, power forwards in the NBA are abundant. The great ones, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
So before we head on out, just some final thoughts. Again, Luka signing a 3-year.
If Giannis continues to be the mid-range king at this point for the next 3-4 years, Gerald, he keeps moving up that list. You'd have to put him in a category with Tim Duncan, Kevin McHale. If he keeps it up.
And Joe has said that, in 2027, if the Lakers stayed to their plan, Magic Man, and try to keep that cap space open for 26 and 27, in 27, a certain individual Milwaukee Buck, if he doesn't ask to be traded beforehand, will magically be available.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to play. You have to play for that, but there's also a big chance between now and then that something else is going to happen. But you can't not at least give it some prep. You can't. I use the example of the 2016 Golden State Warriors. If they had the thought of, Kevin Durant's not going to come play with Curry and Clay and Draymond, there's no way that's going to happen. If they had that mentality, they would have never had a chance. And that talk was going on 2 years before that one. That talk was going on 2 years before. I remember distinctively hearing it. So you have to prepare for 2027 for 2 guys, Jokic and Giannis. And now, if they sign their extensions, if they decide to stay, fine. But there's going to be other things that are going to likely develop between now and then. Someone is going to want to come play with Luka Doncic. when there's open money to come to the Lakers to play with Luka Doncic, with all the money behind that too, there's no way the Lakers aren't going to get a second guy here. Just depends on how. It's just a matter of how. Is it through free agency or is it through a trade?
You mean it's a matter of when, not if.
I'm sorry, it's a matter of when. And it's going to get even better when management gets enhanced and coaching gets enhanced, because I do feel very strongly that once the Guggenheims take over, there's going to be new sheriffs inside the facility, and there's likely going to be a sheriff that's going to get his own deputy.
Alan, I don't see Jokic leaving either. I think he either accepts the contract, which is going to be about 80 to 90 million more than what he would have been offered this year on extension. He could be offered next year. Or, Alan, what may happen is he may leave because what DeMarcus Cousins had comments the other day to, just telling you where he would rather be with his horses. You saw how happy he was the other day when his horse won, and how much more happy he was with his horse winning than him winning the world title with the Denver Nuggets. So I wouldn't be surprised if he agrees to a contract extension next year, or B, he decides to leave altogether. But the one thing I don't expect him to do is become a free agent, unrestricted free agent in 2027. I just don't see that happen. But speaking of being a free agent, again, we talked about if everything goes right for Luka, Magic Man, he will opt out in 2028 as far as the summer there and sign as a free agent an 8-year, $400 and let's just say $17 million deal. Let's just say that's spot on by Bobby Marks. That will be a little bit harder to negotiate as far as building a team around it. So I could understand Joe's, spotting on or, targeting 2027, because I believe you have to build your team around Luka from now until 2027, the end of 2027, because 2028, once his new contract kicks in, if he's a Laker, then it becomes, even with a raised salary cap, it becomes a lot harder for the Lakers to build around him then, if they haven't had to already.
Yes, that's true.
It was impossible. I just said it's harder.
Yeah, it's harder
with 80 million with one person.
Yes, we'll see how much the cap is going up at that point in time, and
usually what 7 to 10%.
10%. So, I mean, it's true. I mean, now's the time to take advantage of this, because you could potentially acquire somebody who's got a really nice contract, Gerald, in the new NBA with the salary cap going up. But if you don't strike when the iron's hot, Gerald, we've seen it can be a cold, cold winter.
And the Lakers will have $100 million roughly in expiring contracts in 2026. Whether or not they use it all then or they carry it over into next year, Joe, it will be something that we'll have to wait and see. But again, I'm curious as to what the Lakers will do. But as for now, of course, Luka said all the right things, talked about how he wants to win a championship as soon as possible. I'm just hoping the Lakers, now seeing him sign on the dotted line, will follow that same guideline and that same sense of urgency that Luka described himself as having on Saturday, Joe.
Most of the guys that are going to be important pieces of this have big reasons on why to play above their heads even. So we have that going for us.
Yeah, that's a good part for this team, is however many holes that I still believe we have on this team, the fact is they have 7 Magic, I think, expiring contracts, 7 players that have a reason to want to play at their very best.
And 4 of them are starters.
Yes.
4 of them are starters, including LeBron James.
Yeah.
If LeBron wants to get another $50 million contract, help Luka win a championship this year. But no matter what, no matter what, if the Lakers do win a championship this year,
Smart, Laravia, and Ayton are the ones with the motivation to do well, Gerald. They're all
then also Austin has a motivation. Austin's got 100 million reasons plus why he wants that motivation. Rui Hachimura, we never talk about Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura wants to graduate to a $20 million a year player and maybe get like a 3 for 60, 4 for 80 deal. How does he do that? He has to continue the consistency which he did not have for most of his career, and the consistency from behind the three-point line as well.
And if he becomes a free agent, he fits into OKC's timeline, Houston's timeline, Denver's timeline, the Knicks, the Celtics, all those teams. He fits like a glove.
Even the players we are very much maligned, like guys like Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber has to show the league he still is able to play NBA basketball after, as Frank would tell you if he was here still on the show, watching in the chat, as a Dallas Mavericks fan, terrible last 3 seasons, I think. As soon as he signed that deal, stop me if you ever heard this before. As soon as he signed his deal, went downhill like a bullet with as far as his career and his stats and his ability to play in games. As far as this concerned, so he's got something to play for. Gabe Vincent could be a washout. Could be where he might be teaming with Kendrick Nunn somewhere in Europe this time next year and be the second Miami washout for the Lakers. He has got something he needs to prove as well. So that is the bright side for everybody out there, is that the Lakers have several players, guys, in a year where there's so much money that could be available next year. So many teams, a lot of teams will have cap space over the next 2 seasons. That is the good point. That is something approachable. And it's up to these guys to prove that they are deserving of the offers that they're hoping to get next summer, whether it's with the Lakers or with someone else. And if that is the case, that means it could be a very good year for the Lakers, guys. A very good year for the Lakers. But we'll wait and see. Alan says, I'm not buying Kleber. I'm not buying it, but I'm just the facts, Alan. It's just the facts. Since last year, he's had a terrible 2-3 past seasons. He's got it. It's now or never. It's literally now or never. He has no other basis to stand on. It's either now or never. Never for him, for Kleber. So you will see what happens. Alan, yes, says you all seen Vando practicing long corner twos. Exactly what we need. Exactly what we need indeed. Yeah, exactly. Alan, I agree. Why? Better show that to Empire Jeff and Jamie Sweet. Go ahead and show that to them. So maybe they can understand what we have talked about for
Gerald,
on time on the show.
The next time Jamie is on this show, I want you to play a little game called Jamie Lives or Dies based on Jared Vanderbilt shooting.
That would be terrible, man, because that's almost like insta-death and permadeath. All at the same.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If your life was on the line, Jamie Sweet, and Jared Vanderbilt had to take that 35-foot shot, are you giving him the ball or are you taking it?
And it's Sharon, it's what we've seen all over the league. And Joe will attest to this one. We've seen players, once they sign that fat contract, 3-4 years. I mean, this goes way back into Joe. Jim McElveen. Yeah, Jim McElveen. Jerome, I think was it Jerome Jordan?
Jerome Jordan.
Jerome Jordan. Yeah, they had that brief moment of success. They signed fat contracts, and they were never heard from since.
And then he became fat on the bench.
Yeah,
sitting beside Eddie Curry eating lemon cakes.
And you see it all over the place now for all these teams where these guys, they sign and they're just, what got them to the dance, they forget, or they just, whether it's bad luck or just whatever they're doing that's wrong that they didn't do before. In their last years, they finally become healthy again and put it all together and hopefully go on a run. And we'll see as far as the Lakers. But guys, I appreciate the conversation. Appreciate everyone out there in the chat. If you're not yet liked and subscribed, please do so. But Joe, you said you're not on tonight. But since I'm heading out on vacation here, I am putting you guys in control of the channel. God help me. Google, who owns YouTube, please be patient. But if you guys want to do shows on the channel, this channel is all yours. But Magic Man and Joe, I'll start with you, Joe, first. Any last thoughts before we head on in?
Yeah, it's going to be the longest 2 months of our lives.
From now until training camp?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about Rob Pelinka anymore. I don't care. I want to talk about the next star of the Lakers and what he's going to be doing here in the next 5 to 10 years. That should be more of the discussion. Because Luka Doncic is going to be a Laker great. He's going to have his jerseys in the rafters. He's going to win MVPs and championships because history says they always win when they get their star. I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about LeBron not being at a press conference. Look, this is the summer, guys. LeBron is LeBron James. This isn't some schlepper, that just walks around in the NBA. This guy is. You have any idea what kind of schedule this guy has? So just stop listening to the BS. Focus on what this team is. We're still going to need to find out what they are. Be patient. But it's going the right way. It's going the right way, though.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. Magic Man, anything else to add on to it before we head on out?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Simple, direct, to the point. All right. So for Joe Sorrell, Magic Man, Sean Grice, it's me, Gerald Glassford. Want to thank everyone for being a part of Lakers Weekend. Again, if there are any shows that run this week on this channel, please like and subscribe so you get the notification. It won't be run by me. Might be run by one of these guys. God help us all if that's the case. So for Joe Sorrell, Magic Man, Sean Grice, Mark, aka Xbox, he may step into place as well. Yeah, may see him as well. You never know. So, am I nervous? Just a tad, but we'll wait and see. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with these two guys up here? Of course, fast break for Magic Man, Sean Grice, and Joe Sorrell. It's me, Gerald Glassford. What Cherby says, the Joe Rogan and Howard Stern show next on Lakers Fast Break. Oh, I should be so lucky. As far as the audience.
To quote Danny McBride from Tropic Thunder, no, I'm not going to do that. I've already sworn one show.
I'd love to have their numbers, that's for sure. So for those guys, Joe Sorrell, Magic Man,
I just don't want to be them. I like who I am. And I like how Sean is. I don't want to be anything like those guys.
Yeah, the same here. I like me too. But I like their numbers, so I'll take that. But this is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. I truly appreciate you joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe so someday we can have Howard Stern and Joe Rogan's numbers. But it all starts with you making sure you tune in to every show that we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Dan, 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 Dan.
Oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
That's why pencils have erasers, Gerald.
That's true. And why this